do want to wrap things up, and I'm going to leave you with this last piece around renewals. This is a killer strategy. It came up in one of the mastermind roundtables I did back in 2016, shared it many times since, and it's ninja level brokering. There are people 20 years in this business who do not do this. They don't. And they're really regretting not doing it right now in particular. But here's the thing, and again, I know this has been a day very focused on brand new people with no clients, but I also see a lot of faces on here that do have databases and do have experience. And you may not have heard this one before. When you have a client whose mortgage renewal is coming up, now some lenders, one lender, Scotia, has an early renewal zone 6 months. 6 months before the actual maturity date, you can early renew with Scotia. You can add new money, you'll get paid on the new money, and you can take the client back and process the transaction 6 months before the renewal date. Now what that means is 10 months before the renewal date, you can lock in a rate for them, funding the first day of the 6 months of the early renewal zone with no penalty. So your Scotia clients, you should be reaching out 11 months before the renewal date to book a time to have the conversation, to talk about whether they want to add more money, to talk about whether there is a reason to switch to another lender, whatever it is. Now, every other lender is more or less 120 days. There's some credit unions and whatnot that are exceptions at 90 days. But on the A side, mortgage finance companies, banks, for the most part, 120-day early renewal zone. And a lot of those lenders, if you are adding $10,000 or $20,000 of new money to the mortgage, they pay you on the entire mortgage all over again. There's no reason to switch that client to another lender to try and get yourself paid, and that isn't a reason to switch a client to another lender anyway. If the only reason you're moving a client to a new lender is to get paid, you're making it all about you, not about the client, that is doomed. That transaction is doomed to failure. It has to serve the client. And here's the thing, as I say, so many of the lender partners we have will pay you on the entire face value of the original mortgage amount plus the top up when you're topping up by $10,000 or $20,000 or more. And their early renewal zone is 120 days. And they hold rates for 120 days. 120 plus 120 is 240. So today, January 12th, you should be reaching out to any of your clients who have a renewal in September. In September. You should be talking to those people now. We've been in a rising rate environment. It's been absolutely like shooting fish in a barrel, because if you locked people in February for an early renewal in June who weren't coming up until October, did they want to wait until October, looking at what happened between February and June? Hell no, they wanted to lock something in June. Boom, get it done right now. So it was absolutely, like I say, just a cakewalk for the brokers engaging in that. And let's face it, you have time right now.
You do, yeah.
You're not inundated with purchases. So getting out 8 months to 10 months and really adding a month to that so that you actually have the application built, the credits pulled, the documents are in hand, you're ready to hit the button and make it happen. I still think in the environment we're in and could easily be in for the next 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, just begs you to do that. And that, as I say, is ninja level brokering, because their own bank is not reaching out typically until a month before the early renewal zone begins. So you can be in your client's face 3-4 months before their own lender is. And by the time the lender gets around to talking to them, if rates have done another little uptick of a half point, they can't even compete with you.